Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1 of the Dropkicks podcast. I'm joined here today by my not very sexy co-hosts, Gizka Freachman.
Yeah.
Sebastian.
What?
And Tony.
Holy shit!
I'm Seth. Sephimus. Fucking idiot. How's everybody doing today?
I just peaked my mic.
You did peak your microphone. How's everybody been? We're all pretty tired this week, it would seem.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It's been a busy couple of weeks. Gizka's in a bad mood today.
When is he not?
No.
Yeah, he's pretty foul. We've all had a busy couple of weeks.
Oh.
Smelly.
So, what's everyone been up to?
How about we go around?
Nothing.
Pissing and drinking my own piss until it's diluted.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Been very
No,
busy.
you didn't. We all did the same thing. We all just sat around watching anime, playing games, and that's probably it.
You're the only one that doesn't watch anime.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like the weirdest thing you can imagine, right? I'm like a huge exception to the whole white people thing. Ridiculous.
We did a big charity stream for the Red Cross a week ago.
That was fun.
That's correct.
That is fun.
We did a 24-hour fundraising charity stream on Twitch to raise money for bushfire support.
Oh,
Well, you did the charity stream because you were the one who was on
You were all there
24/7.
too. I can't take all the credit. I couldn't have done it without you
Yeah,
guys.
but I was like the one who showed up at the very end and said, "Oh, hey everyone, thanks for the credits. Goodbye."
You were there
It was
pretty
all
much
me.
the entire time.
I did the whole work. No, I wasn't. I was maybe only there for
You showed up
You
at
were
the
there-
beginning.
Oh god, I forget how many
Yeah,
hours.
you were-
Maybe 8.
8 hours is still considerable.
You showed up during the VR
I mean-
chat stream,
He did. He was on at the start of the day.
and you were your avatar was a fucking Half-Life scientist with an afro.
Yeah.
Damn right.
No, Gizka was there for a good long chunk. I think a lot of you were there for quite a while.
Yeah, I was in there a lot too. Dude,
We had a lot of people rotating in and out of the stream.
yeah, we made over 260.
That's right.
We made over $260 in that stream.
That's
we did.
correct.
Towards
it was
charity.
pretty good. I was rather impressed with the turnout. I didn't expect that much. I'm really new to streaming. I do not have many followers. I don't have much of a following, and the stream did really well.
Oh come on, you got more followers than I do.
You don't even have a Twitch account.
Well, there you go.
I win, boys.
You solved the mystery.
Yeah, I think you
Want a medal?
have more than
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh, I only have 23. It's pretty
don't even-
pitiful.
I don't even have a Twitch stream.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna start streaming more in the future. I plan to do more streams. Probably do one this weekend.
I got more subscribers than you on YouTube.
He does. I can't argue with that.
Me,
That's 1,000 subscribers. That's like saying I've got 1,000 cents.
Do you even have YouTube ad revenue turned on?
No, because I use copyrighted content.
Oh, whose mistake is that?
YouTube's mistake.
Yeah, probably. YouTube's not in a great place at the moment.
when was it
no.
ever? in
It's been
good
on a
place?
downward spiral.
It has. It's not in a good spot at all.
When the fuck was it ever in a good place?
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing.
Probably from the very
YouTube-
beginning. Before
YouTube's
Google.
never been great. It just has these periods where it goes up and down. But I think people tend to forget. YouTube was shit back at the start of the decade too.
When it first started, it was kind of.
YouTube's never been great, really.
I do recall maybe after years, probably 2009 or 10 was a pretty good year for YouTube. A good time for YouTube, I should say.
Relatively, yeah.
I
It was
remember
a lot more generous to animators.
it was. I remember it being really generous to animators. Now it's just pretty poopy.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know a whole lot about the history of YouTube. I mean, I joined the platform back in 2012, but I never really kept track of like what was going on.
The thing I want to know
I was
is
there to
why
watch
that
videos.
shitty YouTube recommends crap videos for. Why?
It does that to me too. Just the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like I launch up YouTube. I'm not even logged in, and it says, here's some stuff that's recommended, like for everyone, because they say here's the they come up with like a list with like popular videos, and half of them I swear they're suspicious.
Well,
Yeah.
Such as, here's a video. Let's watch some 5-year-old Indian kid like review fucking toys, and it's got like 20 million views.
no.
I'm like, are you fucking
The
serious?
toy
Are
review
you
channels are like
serious?
a plague.
Are you serious? Like, 20 million people watched a child
yeah, because majority of those views
looking
are...
at a fucking doll.
Yeah, because majority of those views are from kids, and kids eat that shit up.
Yeah. 'Cause
I thought it was just bot accounts and pedophiles.
That could also be a factor.
it can.
Let me tell you this now. If you favorite any sort of YouTube video that's aimed at children, you're either a bot or a pedophile. There's like no arguments.
Or a child.
No arguments against that statement.
Or a
No,
child.
because children aren't meant to be on the fucking internet at that
The
age.
funny thing is, I got a lot of nephews and nieces. I'm talking like 13. There's got a lot of kids in my family, and pretty much all of them have had YouTube accounts since they were like 7 or 8.
And whose fault is that?
Well, I didn't get to have a YouTube account when I was a kid.
But I mean, modern day standards are very different from when like you and I were growing up. YouTube wasn't even around when we were growing up.
No, it wasn't.
The
YouTube.
only internet I had was that fucking dial-up.
YouTube.
YouTube was 2007, wasn't it?
No, 5.
No, it was actually it was 2005.
2005. Okay, there you go. I was well into primary school by then.
I was 10 when YouTube came out.
10.
Yeah, I was the
Yeah.
same age. Fucking weird. to think
YouTube was a
about.
very different landscape at that time too.
I
Do you remember Google Video?
No, I
No.
don't
That-
remember Google Video.
That was the only
What
other.
the fuck is Google Video?
That was the only other platform they had before Google bought YouTube.
I did not know about that actually.
Do you remember also like
I thought you were gonna mention shit like Daily Motion or fucking Bing.
no?
Who the
fucking
fuck uses
Bing's
Daily
the ser-
Motion or Bing?
Bing's the shittiest search engine.
It is.
You want to look
It
up a
is.
picture of a toaster? You'll get that and a naked girl with a picture of a toaster.
Alright, Bing.
Bing is awful. Oh god, I remember when I got my first laptop and like the default search engine on it was Bing.
Alright, Bing. Bing, how do I find a girlfriend? What? Beat your wife? Yeah, that's Bing for
Bing's
you.
awful.
Fine, I'm gonna go into Bing right now and let's have a look.
No, great.
Forgive me,
Let's have a
Bing.
look. Okay.
Searched up Minecraft sex mod.
Actually, I'm gonna type in Minecraft and see what it says.
Okay, Gizka.
Let's see.
He's
Hope.
Minecraft play for free, Minecraft
He's actually
free,
look it up.
Play Store install free,
There's so much free.
Still Minecraft free.
Minecraft.
a lot of
I think
those
these are
are spyware and like malware and shit, aren't they? A lot of those fake apps.
Oh yeah, those are fucking...
It's like it says Minecraft play for free online Minecraft, and it says gs2.variousnewinfo.com. Like,
Click
what
it.
the fuck's this group?
Click it.
God, this is gonna give me a fucking virus.
Do it. I want to see what's on the other side.
Download Minecraft Revenge Music Video.exe.
It says it's now linked to me to the Google Play Store, and I'm like, that's not helpful.
Minecraft
Trying to
Indian
get you to download the Android version of it.
Indian Minecraft toy reviewer.
Oh, there probably does exist something like that, and it's probably got 20 million bots/pedo views.
Yeah, that's mostly comprises of them building stuff with brown bricks.
Brown bricks.
Brown bricks in Minecraft.
Actually, then again, speaking of that whole shit with people like filming their kids and putting on YouTube, I think the most fucked up ones are the ones where they get like a 4-year-old and all that, and they like show them something like a like a Game Boy, like an old Game Boy Color or something, and the kids don't know what it is.
Oh, that's just fucking.
Or like
That's just fucking React.
That's basically just the
hate
gap
those
between
things.
generations, though, too.
But the problem is, I hate the people who comment on those videos too.
Oh, God.
You want
I
to
don't-
know something?
Yeah, what?
I once read the comments for one of those things because it just showed some, this little girl, like was handed a Game Boy and she tried to use the screen like a touch screen or something. That's pretty innocent,
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, whatever. They grew up with touch screens, so they probably didn't know.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm looking at the comments, a lot of the comments are just people saying, oh, God, I feel old, true, with, 2,000 years.
And these are like fucking
And then I see,
teenagers.
And then I see the occasional comment where someone says, what a fucking brat. If that was my kid, I would have beat them senselessly.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, she
doesn't
doesn't
know.
know.
Like they actually,
just gonna go
they
right there?
unironically say that on YouTube.
I mean, she...
Like they unironically say they'll basically murder someone, like a child, just because they don't know what a fucking obsolete gaming system is.
She doesn't know. The fuck? Game Boy's
And you
fucking
know what?
ancient.
You wonder why. And people come forward and they say, "Oh, why is there domestic abuse and child neglect?"
There's so many mentally
People
fucked
like this
people.
on fucking YouTube are casually posting this kind of shit.
It is fucked up.
It is.
They think they have an
Although-
outlet to vent their shit, and really
I
they're
think
just
a
making
lot of it's
themselves look
just-
bad.
I think there's a lot of people just talking shit, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these people you
It's
get
not
in the
about
comment
talking
section
shit.
aren't
It's
actually
just
going to act
them.
out on what they're
I
saying.
do believe these people want to normalize this kind of crap.
Game Boy's
Maybe.
fucking... Like, dude, I had a Game Boy and I fucking hated it.
I love the game. Boy.
Everyone had a Game Boy, and it's like fucking. Actually, no, I take that back. No one in my fucking school years ever fucking had one.
Really?
Really?
No,
Oh.
they all said, video games are, for nerds and losers, and it's all like, oh please, your fucking life revolves around like lacrame and fucking craft. It's like you sew bags for a living. You can't shit on me and my hobbies.
A lot of kids in my school had Game Boys.
I prefer
That
the
was
Game
pretty much
Boy
just the norm.
It went from
Yeah.
Game Boy to like Nintendo DS, and occasionally you meet somebody with a PSP.
Oh.
But nobody I ever knew had a
the
Vita.
The PSP.
PP.
That was actually a really good console.
That's a classic.
I actually knew someone who had a PSP. They were playing like Star Wars Battlefront 2 on it, and I
Yeah.
thought, I thought that was like the most inferior like sight ever. Like I thought that's just
when
sad.
you compare it to the console or PC version, then yeah. But I mean, it was
It's like,
fun being able to
shit.
play it on the go.
Graphics was shit. It only had like 3 maps. It's like wow.
Well, what if it was?
That's- you-
what if it
you
was from the
paid-
perspective of somebody who never
paid
played the game before?
$70 for a demo.
Oh my... The fuck?
Just apply that to the order
You paid
1886.
$70.
I
for a
don't think it was
demo.
$70.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It would have
prices
been
prices
around
of those
40 or 50.
Here's the
in
thing,
those
right?
days.
Here's the thing, right? Like, a lot of
That's still a lot of money for a demo.
PSP ports are really shit. Not all of them, but like... I feel
They're,
like the
they're
majority
watered
of
down
them.
PS2 ports.
Yeah, the majority of them are kind of
Yeah.
poop. Like Mortal Kombat. No, Mortal Kombat on the PSP was pretty good, actually. Because I remember playing that.
I don't know. I still had a lot of fun on the PSP regardless. I mean, I was a kid. And, when you're at that age, it's pretty easy to keep you entertained.
You don't...
But
Well, it's because you. Well, like with most things, because if you don't know because you didn't know at the time, it's like you have a lack of references. Like you can't really compare
Yeah,
references
yeah,
if
pretty
you
much.
don't have a thing. Like back in, like when
you
I was a
haven't-
kid, I used to think, shit like fucking South Park, the video game for the N64 was great. I look back at it now and it's just a crude
Yeah.
Turok clone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
Because as a kid, right? Because as a kid, right? Like you don't understand what flaws are. Like you just play. It's like video games fun. But like,
You become more
It's just fun.
exposed to more games over time, and you start
Yeah.
to really compare them and understand like what makes them good, what separates the just shit from the quality kind of games.
Like, there's a lot of games I look back on now that I used to enjoy, and I just think they're really not that great.
No, they some games age like wine, others age like milk.
Given that there are a handful of games from my childhood which I think still stand up so strong even today.
A lot of platformers hold up well.
Yeah, the third person platforming genre back in like the early 2000s, that was good.
Yeah,
those
the
are
Jack
still
and
good.
Daxter and Sly Cooper era.
You don't even want to know how many times I've played through the Jack and Daxter trilogy.
I could say the same thing
Yeah.
about Sly Cooper.
That was one of the first Jack and Daxter was one of the first games I ever played on PS2, and I still love it to
Lucky
this day.
you.
I still play Jack and Daxter. Every couple of years, I boot it up and just play through the whole trilogy.
Ratchet and Clank was also a good trilogy.
Yep, that's another one I played a lot of.
The one that nobody
Yeah,
talks about
I was
a lot
the
is
one.
Deadlocked.
I was the one who played like the shit like Mario 64
Yeah.
and Banjo and
Gizka
Conker's
was
Bad
like a
Fur Day.
Nintendo boy.
I was a Nintendo
Alright.
boy too.
I had the better stuff.
Yeah,
I was PlayStation growing up, and then Xbox.
For me, it went from Nintendo 64 to PS2. And then
Yeah, I was
just
big
on
on
and off.
PS2.
I
Right.
swapped between Nintendo and PlayStation a lot.
Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter were probably some of the most influential games for me growing up.
fucking.
Nobody
I
talks
gotta-
about.
I reckon if I was rich enough, I probably would have had all three consoles.
Mm.
But now that I look back on it, I kind of don't really want to waste time with buying like fucking 6 different machines just to play games
Yeah,
when I've got one PC.
I knew
I
someone
think the
who.
most I ever had. Oh, go ahead, Seb.
I'm sorry. Like, I knew someone who had like all consoles. Like, well, not all of them, like ever, but like he had like he had the fucking GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think the biggest my collection got, I think it was around 2009 ish. I had the PlayStation 3, I had the Xbox 360, I had a Wii, and I had a PSP. That was
Well,
about.
there you go. See,
That was as big
a
as my
proper
collection
gamer,
got.
a real gamer appreciates every fucking machine that exists.
I did. I had a pretty good range back in the day, all things considered.
I remember the first
Of course.
retro console I bought myself was a Sega Genesis. It was back in like 2010 at like
Oh,
a swap meet.
I never had any retro consoles. I think the closest thing I had to a retro console was just the PS1.
Dude, I'm loaded with retro consoles.
Yeah, I know,
I've still
you
got a
gotta-
fucking.
You got a whole collection.
I got an
there.
NES. I got an NES. I got a SNES. I got a ColecoVision.
You got a
going on.
fucking
yeah,
ColecoVision? That's
He does.
awesome. That's
I even
great.
got like an Atari 2600 as
I
well.
used to have an Atari 2600 from like 2014 until I sold it like in 2016 or 17 or something or other. I didn't have it for that
for
long.
like $2.
Yeah, Gizka's got a good little collection going on.
Of course, half of them don't fucking work anymore. But what do you expect?
Oldie,
What I've noticed is that Nintendo games age better because a lot of them you can still play without problem because of their build quality.
I would have to say, like, I'll list out all of the retro consoles that I had. Okay, Nintendo 64. That's it.
That's not
That's it.
retro.
Yeah,
Stop making me feel old.
I've never been much of a Nintendo person. I mean, I had the Wii.
Honestly, whatever first machine that you generally grew up with is probably what you would follow for most of your childhood.
Yeah.
And then as you go, once you become teenager, you branch out or just toss it out altogether.
Yeah, no, pretty
Once
much.
once I started, I think it was around 2005 once I actually discovered a computer. That's when I'd always been playing computer. My first video game I ever played was actually a computer game, and that was Commander Keen on an old ancient
Oh man,
computer that was still running
That takes me back.
Windows 98 on it. So, and and whatnot, but I had a 64 as well, so those are the two things I had, and so I'd always switch between the two, but
Wait, no, like
the
Nintendo
end, I
64 or
just-
Commodore 64?
not a Commodore 64. God, no, I'm not that old. No one even...
I was thinking a lot of
The
the
only
MS-DOS
person
era.
who I knew who had a Commodore 64 was my auntie, but she doesn't have it anymore. She got rid of it. I actually asked her if she still had it, like 10 years ago, and she said, no, I don't. I thought, fuck. I would have actually liked to have grabbed it.
Yeah.
Just
That
for
doesn't
collection's
matter.
sake.
My first exposure to PC gaming was when would have that been? That was around probably 2005, I think.
That's quite
I
late.
got 2005. I got an old computer from a friend of mine. It's running Windows 98, and I played SimCity. SimCity, I think, was the first PC game I ever played, and I fucking loved it. Every day after school, I'd be on SimCity for hours and hours, and then shortly after, my nephew had a copy of, I think it was Age of Empires 3.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't want it anymore, and I was like, hey, could I grab that off you? He's like, yeah, sure, I don't play it. So he gave me his copy of Age of Empires 3, and I took that home, and I was just like, fuck, PC gaming is great, I love it.
I remember.
Age of Empires 3.
Yeah.
I got into PC gaming
Ugh.
like around 2004, I think. And the first PC game I ever got was The Sims Deluxe Edition. And
Yeah.
me and my
I remember the Sims.
sister-
I had Sims too.
yeah, me and my sister would just play that like endlessly. Like every day after school, we would just hop on The Sims 2 and just like muck around. We would also put in cheat
Yeah.
codes for The Sims, so like just to give us lots of money. And
That was the only reason to play Sims, is to cheat and spawn money, because fucking... Why would a kid want to waste time trying to do adult things like finding a job and fucking cleaning a house? They just want to make like a cool house and then drown all the Sims.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Or in my favorite case, lighting everyone on fire.
yeah, like what I used to do, I used to make like my own haunted houses. Like I would just make like a bunch of random Sims, just kill them all, and just make my own haunted house, and put like the tombstones in front of the house. It's like, this is a haunted
I
house.
just remember, like, you just put people in the pool and remove the ladder.
They die.
See, the
That's a
funny thing,
classic.
funny story, you should say that. I actually got at my aunt's place, because I got like plenty. I've got like a million cousins as well. Like my little cousins, you know, like two young girls. They used to love playing Sims 1
Yeah.
as well. I think I actually ruined their save files one time when I visited them. Because I made a house, right? Yes, of course, but I put a swimming pool in the front yard with just the diving board and no ladder. But the problem is, all the other Sims from other save files would show up and jump in,
Yeah.
Oh,
and so they all drowned. I was trying to make like a graveyard or something just for the fun of it, but see, what's actually screwed up is that afterwards, after I like logged down, like was browsing all the other houses, I discovered that virtually all the other Sims from all the other files that, remember, these are all like, you know, 10-year-old girls, right, who worked really hard on, were all gone, because I just realized I actually murdered in the entire neighborhood with my thing. I didn't tell them that, of course. I just told them, I think your files got corrupted. They didn't know that it was me who actually,
you got away
you know,
scot-free.
caused, you know...
There was
You know,
the
you
plague.
got away until now.
Gizka causing trouble at even a young age.
There was the
Oh,
there was the fucking sim
I'll
plague.
tell you what though, I was like that cousin I would always give my like young cousins, like, I wouldn't say a hard time, but I used to always tease them. I like
I can
mess
see you
with them
doing
at
that.
every opportunity.
I could very easily see you doing that.
And sometimes they'd beg me, you know, to play a video game with me, and I go. When I was young, I used to be defiant. Like, no, I don't want to play with girls, you know, because you know back then when you're like a young boy, you think girls are cooties, but oh well.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
thought-
you got to worry about super cooties. What makes them super is how you get them.
But But then, as I got older, I decided I bet I could probably, fuck with these people, like. And so what I'd do is I'd play right, but I'd show them no mercy and absolutely dominate them in every game they'd put me through.
Yeah.
I think one of them once complained about why I was always winning. I said, well, I told you, if you want to face me, if you want to verse me in a game, be prepared to lose.
Have you ever
You don't
got
know
to
what you're
somebody's
going up against.
You ever got to somebody's boiling point where they're just like, I don't want to play with you anymore?
Yeah.
Oh
I've had
yeah,
that.
I've had that several times.
Yeah, I've had I've had some of my young cousins. I've had them, seen them, throw tantrums when I've.
I think
destroyed
we've all
them.
had
Of course,
that
I was
experience. at one point or
laughing
another.
at the back of my head the whole time. Because it's
I
fun.
remember when I
It is
was
fun.
I was a kid.
They try starting to beat the shit out of you in real life.
I was playing Halo Combat Evolved co-op with a friend, and he would keep killing me, and I kept getting pissed off. I was like, "Stop killing me!" And he's like, "All right," and then he kills me again. I'm like, "Ah!"
I was such a sore loser back in the day with multiplayer games
we were.
when I was a kid.
I'm pretty sure all of us here were sore losers.
To an
I never-
extent. I was pretty bad though.
My first actually foray into PC gaming and also online gaming was Medal of Honor Allied Assault because I played the
man, that's an
campaign a
old one.
lot, and I only discovered I think it was 2007 2008 where I found out I had multiplayer and there was servers still up. I'm like, oh shit, I can play this.
Yeah.
No,
First
And-
multiplayer experience, huh?
yeah, it was actually a lot of fun because I played the single player a lot, and the two other games I remember playing on Windows 98 because I played a Medal of Honor on Windows XP, still RIP. I played
Everyone played it on XP.
yeah, I played the first Road Rash a lot, and Need for
Oh.
Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. I was
You wanna
big
know
on racing games.
the first game I ever played online? It was TF2.
What's actually ironic? My first online game was Team Fortress as
Yeah,
well.
that was the first game I ever played online. I remember it was in 2012. See, my parents had a phobia of the internet.
Yeah,
For many years, they were
I can be on the same.
they
foray as
they
well.
were they were internet phobic, and I mean big time. Except for my father, he was more open to it.
Yeah.
My mum was just like, we're never getting the internet. I'm not going to expose my wonderful son to the internet.
Aw.
That's ironic about your father being open to the internet, yet he still
Yeah,
refuses to get a
Dude,
fucking
my
phone.
dad is a bit of a technophobe. He likes technology in the sense he likes to see what it's capable of. He likes to observe it, but he himself doesn't really want to have anything to do with it. He won't even own a mobile phone.
I wouldn't say my case it was strict, but it was more it was very cautious considering this nature of the internet.
Oh, my mum was absolutely horrified at the idea of the internet. My dad, however, was just like, this is probably where the future's going. We should probably hook him up online. And there was a whole kerfuffle
And then it's like,
between
hey,
my
look,
mum
a
and my
mobile
dad.
phone. He's like, technology.
Yeah, if I try to trying to get him to get a mobile phone is impossible. He's just not. I'm not using a mobile phone.
Even though he actually lived during the time when it first came out.
Yeah.
He would have been still young when it first came out.
Show him a fucking cellular phone like a Nokia. It's like, get away! It's gonna steal your soul.
I got hooked
Just
up
get
on
him
the
a
internet.
dinosaur phone from the 80s.
I got hooked up on the internet in 2012. At the end of 2012, we finally got the internet, thanks to my father. And I hopped on. I was just like, wow, look at this big, wide world.
Yeah.
And one of the first games I played was Team Fortress 2.
Oh boy, I
And
don't.
that's how I met Gizka on Team Fortress 2.
It's like, I knew about... I was well aware of the internet because, back as a kid, I used to have, internet. But the problem is the internet I had was that terrible dial-up, which was super slow.
Yeah.
And that's why I could never actually play any online games. Not only because I was generally unaware, because I was actually distracted by some of the consoles I had.
Yeah.
But we just had shit in it. I think it's probably around 20. I think it was around 2006 when we actually finally got internet that wasn't shitty, broadband
broadband.
internet as they
Yeah,
called
yeah.
it. So yeah, I think when broadband was a thing, that's when we finally caught up. But I mainly used the internet just to look up shitty Flash videos. Or
I
play
remember
fucking
doing that.
Newgrounds.
playing like Flash games.
Old Flash
Newgrounds,
games are the
baby.
best. Newgrounds! Hell yeah!
I love Newgrounds.
That was the
Playing
shit.
Flash games. Some of the earliest games I remember playing were stuff like, you ever actually, let me ask you this, Seth and Seb, you ever remember a website called E-Zone, and it had this character called Lenny Loosejocks?
No,
It
actually.
rings a bell, but I don't.
Because that's where I played some Flash games from those people. Actually, two brothers, I think. They're two brothers who made Lenny Loosejocks, and they still make games, right? But they, like, to this very day, right? But
Yeah.
they're just crappy, iPhone, physics puzzle games or something.
Who here remembers Pivot?
I do.
Oh, Pivot, yeah, the fucking like stick figure animations.
The stick figure animator. I remember that
Those
very,
are the
very
fucking
vividly.
tits, dude.
Yeah.
They,
They're
they were
act-
good back in the day.
There were fucking action videos of Pivot that were awesome.
Who the fuck remembers the
Pivot was
YouTube?
fun.
They're still
Pivot
around
videos?
too, if you were to look them
Oh,
up.
yeah. Still there.
Who the fuck remembers those awesome Pivot YouTube videos that people would make?
Yeah, I do.
I remember.
I don't remember the Pivot, but I do remember something called Stick Death or something.
Stick Death.
I like that name.
That rings a bell.
Yeah.
That actually sounds
Yeah.
that sounds like an existing thing. I remember.
If you thought Pivot was primitive, wait till you see Stick Death. I've actually just Googled it now, and I'm like, God damn, this shit is
remember
I
primitive.
think the
like-
Flash game I spent the most time on was not Pivot, but Line Rider.
Line Rider. Yeah, Line
Oh,
Rider
yeah, I
was
played a lot of Line
fantastic.
Rider.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids
Line
were
Rider
playing
was
Line
okay.
Rider back then.
You just always like edit the course and see where it like fucks up the most, and you're like, okay, got to start from the beginning. People made some
That was a
crazy
fun
shit.
game.
They actually had a
did, yeah.
Coca-Cola. They actually had a McDonald's fucking commercial with Line Rider. I remember, in like 2006.
I did not know that.
That's an actual thing.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's awesome. They drew up like the different things. It was actually really well drawn because you remember how to draw with the mouse and Line Rider was the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Fucking like, I remember playing like a lot of really fucked up like stick games. Like I remember playing this one torture simulator. Like okay, so basically like this guy's in prison and you're the one that's supposed to execute him. So you have to pick like what options to kill this guy with. Like I don't know, for example, like a shotgun. Or like a machete. I remember like really fucked up stick games back
I remember
then.
there's a similar game, but it was like with a ragdoll with like very primitive physics.
Honestly,
Oh.
if pretty much anyone here in this thing was like commonly went to Newgrounds, that was pretty much the default.
It was.
Like a lot of those internet games were always, shit like gore and poo, for some reason,
Yeah.
especially on the poo.
I
Yeah,
remember
sex,
that. I don't
sex,
remember the
tits,
name
and
of it.
dicks. Yeah,
There was
I
there
wouldn't
was-
say sex, but it was more of just about, gore cartoon characters and poo.
yeah. Mostly the cartoons had a lot of like sex and dick jokes.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we all found funny back in the day.
that's
right?
true.
Yeah, stuff that you
Or
wouldn't
the one
find on
time
YouTube.
when I was like, or the one time in 2005 when I discovered a website called zooass.com, which was pretty shit.
What
That
was
sounds
I was
very
playing 'em.
illegal.
What was it?
It had all these crude ass like Flash games, but the thing is, I actually didn't know the like the whole shit behind them. I just played some because they were funny, like the one where it like says we get to shoot Jar Jar Binks in the face. And I thought that was awesome. Or Operation, or like I think it was like some shitty clone of Operation, but it was called Gay Operation. You had to basically pull objects out of someone's butt cheek. I didn't even know I didn't know it was actually about a dude like shoving all these objects up his ass. I just thought it was funny.
Objects I've shoved up my
But
ass.
I didn't like it. And I stopped playing in the end because I like kept losing because like it was one of those timed ones and I wasn't quick enough.
What?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
And this was back
he
in
kept on sucking him back up
2005,
in his
so-
asshole?
No, it was the one where the objects were like, I think if I can remember right, the objects would spin around. You'd have to click it at just the right time for it to fit through the
It's
holes.
funny
or else-
because I imagine the visuals from 2005. The fucking crudeness.
Oh no,
of
it was like a poorly drawn like pair of butt cheeks, right? And all the fucking shit, all the objects like the bowling pin, the fucking baseball that you got to take out, they're all just crude JPEG images they probably found off of Google Images.
I am floored from
So,
how you remember this.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm like one of those people who can like remember really odd details, but
Who the
I didn't really like it. And there was more other games, like ones where I think there's like a one where it's like Michael Jackson's like Love Compound or something where you gotta like
No,
catch the
I know what
kids.
you're talking about. That's from like the early 2000s.
You use a net gun and you gotta like catch the kids. I thought it was funny at the time, but I didn't know it was
I
actually,
remember that.
I didn't know.
And the fucking
I
game
didn't
and the
know
game
it was
over screen was an
actually-
actual image of him getting like arrested or some shit.
I don't know. It was very hard to remember. Well, I didn't know like at the time. Like I think because I watched South Park in 2005 as well. I think the whole I didn't know the whole story about the whole Neverland thing, but I definitely knew that, you know, Michael Jackson was probably into kids or something, but I didn't really knew the full extent of it.
I mean, you were too young, really, to fully understand the
Well,
context.
2005. Oh fuck. That was probably like when I certainly wasn't 9. That was for sure.
You would have been what, like 13, 12?
No, not 13.
No.
No. 12. I was 12 when it was 2000. So yeah, I pretty much was a 10-year-old
Yeah.
then. So a 10-year-old, I'll say this now, if you're 10-year-olds don't know everything, but they are capable of finding stuff they're not meant to look at.
Yeah, it's that point in life where you pick up on things a bit better.
more curious?
Yeah, you start
to pick
to
up on things more.
you
and
become
learn.
more knowledgeable, you become more curious, and then you find out shit that you
And
probably wish you didn't.
But 2006 was when they taught us sex education, so that's when all the innocence came to an end.
Yeah, they taught. They
Throughout
taught
my
us that too.
all my school years, I never had a sex education class. We've had only about like
neither did
drugs
I.
and shit.
Yeah, well, I had sex education back in 2006. Of course, it was very hard to take it serious. The teacher fucking says penis. And, like,
Yeah,
I was
the
just
whole class
constantly,
just bursts
I was
out
constantly
laughter.
giggling and sneering. So
It's a fucking Beavis and Butthead episode.
Penis.
So we're constantly chuckling and all that. I know that my year 6 teacher kept saying, you know, I was immature. But then again, he was the same person who said that my generation's the sole cause of global warming.
What the fuck?
I look back at it now and it's like, okay, boomer. It's like he was imagine
Whoa,
a
that's my
boomer
phone.
unironically like blaming, you know, 10-year-olds for fucking pollution and global warming.
Oh shit! There he goes.
We've been talking about some shit illegal.
All right.
He's gonna come down.
Seb has run off to pick up the phone.
Yeah, he dropped it.
Wonderful.
There he goes.
He'll be right back. Yeah, continue, Gizka.
But yeah, that's just the fucked up gist of it. It's like there actually are boomers like that. But honestly, I don't really care. I don't even know if he's still alive anymore.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
He's just one of those people you meet in life and then you move on. You never think about him again.
I remember in first grade
Yeah.
or kindergarten. I don't know which one was it, but I remember because I grew up in like a private school before I moved. Basically we were having a class, right, and we had all these books like laid out, and we were supposed to turn to a certain page, and like I thought I was on the right page because it looked like very similar, and this old fucking bitch was so pissed off that she just threw the book across the fucking room, and then she just started giving me shit about it, and I was like, I was a kid, so I was like wincing and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? It's all because I wasn't on the wrong right page, and then like I later like told my parents about it, and then they asked me, well, did they hit you? Did they pull your hair? And like I was just saying yes to like everything because I didn't know what they were fucking meaning. So they pretty much took what I said right, and then they went to school one day because I didn't come to school one day, and they basically the principal was involved. The teacher was involved, and someone else. I think it was like the vice principal or whatever. And my parents started giving them shit. This bitch, like, and I realized, wait, did I just agree to like shit that didn't actually happen? But it didn't matter because this old fucking hag deserved it. because I didn't know better. She's a fucking teacher. She's supposed to fucking educate everybody about what not to do instead of just having a short fuse.
God, we've all had those teachers with just incredibly short fuses, right? Who are just and you wonder, why are they working with children?
It's stupid. A lot of them just the thing is, it's like the equivalent of a dead end job for them, because they literally said, "Oh, I'm gonna teach kids, it's gonna be easiest fucking thing." No, they don't get fucking paid any more or any less than fucking what everybody else does. They just gotta go through, get a degree, and just to even have the permission to work there. And then again, they're not kids. They're not meant to be around kids, because a lot of them are fucking mentally screwed up.
And I'm back.
Yeah.
Well, it's like this. Remember how early on in the podcast I was talking about those people who like talk about murdering children because they don't know what Game Boys
I
are?
like to believe that they're
See,
connected.
These teachers are basically those people. They're pretty much that's the equivalent of those people.
Sorry about that, everyone.
They go, "Oh, I'm a good teacher. I know how to teach kids," and then the kid says, "Oh, can I decent human rights?" And they're like, "What?"
Welcome back,
I
Seb.
got a phone call from my uni regarding my just regarding my game design course, because I'm studying at the moment. Like, I'm studying a course in game design, and I asked if I could do probably part time. So
Okay.
and they
Sick, dude.
yeah so yeah.
We were just talking about terrible teachers from school.
I've had my fair share of terrible teachers. I remember my sports teacher being a massive cunt. Fucking hated him.
Meatheads.
He was
Fucking.
how do I say it right? He would treat us like Gordon Ramsay in a way. Like if we make one fuck up, he'll get in your face and start shouting at you like you fucked up you fucked up a Wellington or something. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
we're just
man,
kids.
I remember fucking PE teacher in high school. Like, if one person does something incorrect, everybody in the class has to do push-ups.
Oh, fuck
It's the
that.
most stupidest
dude.
shit. Fucking hated it. Oh, I remember fucking a bunch of kids, and this was in middle school. Like a bunch of kids were fucking insulting me. They would call me like faggot or something. And I went to the teacher, and then I told him like, dude, these kids are fucking like call me names and shit. It's like, what are they doing? It's like, oh, they're calling me faggot. It's like, and then the teacher's like, you're not allowed to say that. So go do push-ups or against the wall or some shit. I'm like, what?
The fuck?
I'm trying to tell you what's my problem, dick.
Well, let me tell you this now, Tony. See, that's another theory I have about teachers. I believe they're all Nazi sympathizers.
I don't know if you can say that.
Because yes, I can. Because you know why? You know how teachers always going on about, their attitude towards bullying and all that, but they don't actually do anything about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I call them Nazi sympathizers because these are the people who are no different to those Germans in those in the ghetto, in the Jewish ghettos, who looked the other way when Jewish people were being carted off and killed. These are the people who would look the other way as atrocities would go on around them, and that's how I view teachers sometimes. Because they say, oh, we've got zero tolerance to bullying. Yet I've seen teachers, like I used to be bullied a lot, and I actually used to tell teachers of the shit that I go through, and they would do nothing about it.
I've been through
there.
I've been through
Or
the
they
same
just
shit
look
as
the
well.
other way.
I've actually. Go ahead, Seth.
I got bullied a bit back in school. There was 2 kids at my school who were notorious for getting quite physical and bullying. One of them would frequently get kids he'd headlock people.
Oh.
That's what he'd do. He'd come up and he'd headlock you, and he'd slam you down on the ground. He'd do this a lot, and he'd get into trouble. But they never suspended him or anything. It was bloody ridiculous.
That's dangerous too, because he could probably give the kids a
It
concussion
was.
or something.
He'd always get sent to the principal's office and get scolded, but he never got suspended or anything. And looking back on it, I don't know how he didn't. But he used to pick on me a lot. And one day when I was playing football with my friends, and he came up behind me and got me in a headlock and slammed me down on the ground. So I bit his arm. Nice big bite. Didn't draw blood, but I sent him off screaming. He went to the principal, went and told him what happened. brought me over. I explained the situation. My friends also came along as well and said, no, you got Kai in a headlock. And I got punished.
The
Well, he did too, but I got the more severe punishment because I bit him.
Oh my god.
That's stupid.
You're
not allowed to defend yourself.
I got detention for an entire week.
Why?
That's stupid.
Why are principals such biased retards?
Why is it that? Why is nobody like in school teaching about like self-defense and acknowledging it?
They should. They
Yeah,
should totally. No. Here's the thing I've been thinking about recently. Right? They should totally like have like self-defense classes in schools. Like,
Well, I understand from the perspective that they don't want to encourage, so biting somebody is a pretty big extreme, but it's a self-defense situation. But I can
Yeah, but
understand
it's-
why they'd want to say, you don't want to get physical with somebody. If somebody's doing something to you, find a more suitable way to defend yourself. But when you're a child, I mean, there's only so much you can do. When somebody's got their arm around your neck, I think biting them's a pretty instinctual move.
It's survival.
survival.
In the case of self-defense, I think it's perfectly fair. You just got to make sure you tell the child afterwards, like, you did that only out of self-defense. Never do it under any other circumstance.
not.
Only in
Ah,
self-defense.
but then no one's gonna listen. They're just gonna go back to the same old status
Nah,
quo.
teachers
or some
don't
shit.
fucking
They're not
listen.
gonna do
that
anything.
wasn't the only time I got into trouble for defending myself. There was quite a few times where I got into big trouble for having to defend myself.
I never
Until-
willingly got into a
Until
fight.
we got a new principal. We eventually got a new principal. And I tell you what, me and him became the best of friends. He was such a cool dude.
Nice.
And after that, I didn't have
Yeah,
any problems because
I've never had. I could never have, a teacher or a principal as a friend. I thought every single one of them was snakes.
I remember 6th grade and 7th grade for me, like all the principal and vice principals, absolute shitheads.
Yeah.
Like even the vice principal a lot more. And I actually have a funny story to share that actually happened in 7th grade, which was probably the worst year for bullying and harassment because everybody was a fucking asshole to each other. Like the mistake with middle school is that you put so many kids in the same room with all these hormones and all these fucking feelings that they're going through their head and act like the stupidest fucking people. And like the people like me trying to get by, like, you become an easy target. So naturally, I had nobody to turn to. I talked to the teachers, talked to the principal. They didn't do fucking shit about it. They talked to them, but it's, still persisted. So me like drawing as like a sort of escapism, because I used to doodle a lot in my notebooks and shit. I think every one of us here has done it at some point or another.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, as my coping mechanism, since I couldn't do anything, so I just drew. I drew how I felt, and I drew like very very crude, mind you, like depictions of like the kids who are like bullying me and threatening me and stuff, like getting mauled by like lions or like dying like in very ridiculous fashions, like giant mutant cat or some shit or another. And like the friends that were like really kind to me, I included them as well. It's like whatever, And then like one day I got caught, like, because I dealt with I dealt with a lot of harassment, and the one time like I fuck up. And all of a sudden, like, I'm discovered for what I do. Like one of the fucking kids like takes the pages from me, shows it to them, and they're like, look what he's doing. And I'm called out for it. I get pulled into the hallway. And I'm like, what are you doing? You realize this is going to go to the principal's office, but I was a kid. I can't explain myself like any more than I did. And then my fucking. My because they were like little comics, mind you, they got confiscated. I had to talk to the vice principal. My parents like got involved, and and then I was so emotionally distraught because I didn't know what the fuck was happening. So like, what else was I supposed to do? And I explained to my parents, like, these fucking kids are shitheads. Like, so many of them just are relentless, just absolutely pestering me. And it was like the absolute worst for me. Like at that time. Because nobody fucking helped. It was like trying to make contact with aliens. I'd have better luck doing that. It was fucking awful. I think.
Well, it's like this. They're like the United Nations. They say they help, but they actually don't.
No.
They just stand around in blue hats,
They
just
don't
going,
give a shit.
diversity, our strength.
That's true, unfortunately.
It's like,
Luckily for me,
It's like, thanks.
luckily for me, I didn't get too much bad experience with teachers apart from just my sports teacher. Like a lot of my teachers would see how because here's the thing, like I was a really creative kid. I would just draw non-stop as a kid, and my teachers saw that and they'll be like, "Hey, we want to encourage you to draw more." Like, and they encouraged me to do more creative stuff in class. So I didn't have too much bad experience with teachers, luckily. But like, I can imagine how fucking terrible that can be, like having that like Tony's situation. Like nobody wants. Oh, excuse me. No,
Yeah.
nobody wants to be in that situation. Like especially as a
No.
as a kid. That's fucked. Fucked up.
I remember
so
I was
fun.
told not to draw guns because I remember I doodled like a little Left 4 Dead like doodle with like a bunch of like characters saying, "Oh, we're fucked," and they're surrounded by
Well,
a
then
bunch
again,
of zombies.
I think it's because you're American, and they assume that anyone who draws like pictures of people getting hurt are immediately like a potential school shooter. And remember, this was well after the times when they said that Doom caused 6 million deaths.
Oh,
6
I
million?
don't know.
Thanks for reminding me. I actually had a situation actually like where these same fucking shithead kids like actually accused me of having a weapon.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, so
See what I mean?
So I was out.
tell.
So I was out in the hallway. We were waiting for the next class or whatever. There was like this loud snapping noise coming from like the nearby restrooms because at the end of every like hallway there's like a restroom in like different sections of the school, and
Yeah.
so there was this loud snapping noise, and then these bunch of fucking girls. Mostly I was getting harassed by like really shitty, stupid fucking bimbo girls, mind you. they're like mixed with like Hispanic or something or other. I don't mean to racially like profile people, but this is the situation.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, it's a stereotype.
No, yeah, but it's the kind of cliques. They're the kind of girls that just meld up together like a cyst, and they just giggle and just laugh at stupid shit and make fun of fucking boys or start rumors that people are gay or whatever, that type of shit. So they were hearing that noise and they were joking about it, like, "Oh, that must be Tony's gun." And I'm like, I was confused. I was like, I don't have a gun. And then literally like without a second thought, they said, "You have a gun?" And then everybody started looking at me, and I was breaking down because like, what the fuck is going on? And then the teacher gets involved. I get sent to the principal's office, and I get my fucking bag checked, and there was nothing. And so I explained to them, these girls accused me of having a weapon when I didn't. It was stupid.
Oh my god.
Gotta
What
love
the teachers
America.
say.
American schools are just fucked. Like just fucked up.
Everything I
Well,
explained.
I'll tell you this
happened
now,
just sounded
Tony.
great.
If it gives you,
Go ahead.
any consolation, a lot of these people probably grew up to be fucking boring people, or worse. I've actually come across the people who used to give me shit in my life are the same people now who are talking about how homophobia bad and how fucking you should learn to love your neighbor, and it's like, what? You people were absolute horrible people when you were kids. But then again, that's all part of the maturing process. But you know what? Those people who would spread rumors about people being gay or all that and being all massively homophobic are probably the same people now who say either suck dick or you're a bigot.
Yeah.
Those people.
The thing was,
like,
I didn't
know
know what gay meant until like 4th or 5th grade, where I found out like, oh, it's like two men fucking each other or two girls fucking each other. I'm like,
Basically,
yeah.
it's almost like you. Actually, no, I'm not going to say it because I've already forgotten what I was going to say. But never mind. But
Yeah.
that's
No,
the
but
thing. And
I understand your point.
well, the people's like innate homophobia in high school, despite the fact that everyone was drawing penises on practically everything.
I can attest to that. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
dicks being drawn in the stalls at school.
Of course, then again, I think I learned this from my older brother because we went to the same high school. He actually asked one of the janitors like which do you think is the most dirtiest bathroom? And he says that the women had the dirtiest bathrooms.
Really?
And he-
Interesting.
And he asked, why is that? And it's like, well, it's not necessarily dirty, like shit and piss. Like the men win that trophy for shitting on the floor. But the thing is, the main problem in the women's bathrooms was the graffiti was just absolutely obscene.
They drew on them like with Sharpies and makeup and lipstick and shit.
No, they just get like a permanent marker and just write all these weird shit on the walls. Most of them are like, oh, such and such is a dirty slut, or this is all they do the thing where they list down all the guys that such and such has slept with.
You ever see
all
any
these
phone
weird
numbers
bitchy
being
ones.
graffitied in the stall? Any phone numbers?
Who the fuck
Nah.
would do that? Like,
Now, see, I didn't actually have a proper phone back then, so like I had like one of those brick phones, so I couldn't get texts. It doesn't matter, but and it actually, I think it got so bad to the point that the teachers actually brought my whole year together, explaining to like an audience of like 100 students or some shit, not students, sorry. They
That does sound
actually.
like a term. That does sound like a term.
They actually fucking said, they said, girls, it's come to our attention that a pecking order has come up, right? And it's our job, to actually put an end to stop this nonsense. And I thought, so the girls developed a pecking order. There's a fucking head. There's a big hen who leads all the other girls. And, and I know this sounds weird, but from a perspective from a man, and that's the thing, if you come across women in any sort of social circle or any workplace, you will know that there is a fucking pecking order going on. It's not obvious, right? A lot of these pecking orders are very subtle and behind the scenes. A lot of us men will probably never see, but there are pecking orders. There are pecking orders. There's always one boss woman who keeps all the other girls in line, and that's the thing. But I'll probably talk about that on some other thing, because I think we're starting to run low on time.
Yeah, we're at 56 minutes
we
already.
are.
Time flies.
Exactly. So we're probably going to run out of time, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But
We'll get to that.
that's the thing. And remember this. This isn't just a girl thing. Remember, fucking men have the same thing as well. We don't have a pecking order, but we do have like this hierarchy of respect where
Yeah, there is.
the loudest talker is usually the leader, and all that, because he vocalizes, he gets his message out there. Hence, that's why I reckon in this particular podcast I've been more vocal than like what Seth was in the last one, because he was just talking about bushfires and I had nothing to say. But here, man, I got loads of things to say,
Yeah,
and
you
that's
got a
just
lot to say.
that's the fucking beginning. And I love talking about many things. My grade A rants can ruin any scenario. It's fantastic.
when was the last time?
It's going to be a very
Oh my God.
When was the
interesting.
last time we recorded a
few more weeks.
podcast? By the way, it was like weeks ago,
4 weeks, 3 to 4
a
weeks
month
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
No, but your
Yep.
your consolation is greatly appreciated. I'm just happy I don't have to fucking deal with school anymore and those types of people. I mean, once in a
Oh,
while.
fuck high school. I'll tell you this now,
No,
Tony.
this is
high school.
high school and middle school.
Ugh.
School.
High school, basically, school in general, like particularly high school, that's basically the dumbest generation of people there is.
I agree.
They're the most stupid people on the planet. Like fucking second graders are actually smart because they actually do as told. You can tell them anything and they'll fucking believe it. But but if you tell a fucking high schooler anything, they'll just go, "Oh, that's gay," or this,
That
or
sounds about right.
or they'll
Yeah, it's kind.
or gay, or they'll just say, "Can we like look at our phones now and all this?"
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, fucking.
it's like,
yeah.
shut up.
Well, I never willingly got into a fight. Like, I never actually got into a physical fist fight. I always kept to myself because, I was soft spoken as a kid, but I always was more expressive with, letting my hard
yeah.
work in class do the talking and just being myself.
And ironically, a lot of these kids, though, who couldn't be fucked doing all the work, would then end up as the people who'd go, "Why did I fail in life?" Like 20 years later. Which is weird, because I think I'm one of those people. I didn't do any fucking homework, and even to this day I stand around going, "Why didn't I get into university?" They told me, when I completed those exams, they said I was too stupid to go to university.
That's retarded.
Probably not in those words, but they implied it. I don't know. I do this shit where people just simply say, "Oh, your mark isn't good enough to. They say, oh, we probably wouldn't recommend you go to university. And my first thing is to say, so you're saying I'm too stupid then? And I go, okay.
Who are they to tell you what you fucking should and shouldn't do, though?
But that doesn't matter anyway.
To evaluate
I went
your
to the
worth.
mines. I went to the mines instead. And the funny thing is, when I actually said, oh, I'm going to work in the mines, they did everything in their power to convince me not to go.
And you made it
They
anyway.
said, do not go. They said, you cannot go because you will not like it. And it's like, you'll find it boring. And it's like, what the fuck do they know? They said, university is the most essential thing in life. If you don't get to university, you cannot get a job. And yet I look at all these people who are my age who are coming out of uni saying there are no fucking jobs at all. So it's like they wasted 5 years getting trained for nothing.
You see,
They promised us jobs.
people.
They said back in 2012 that we would be promised jobs. Where are they?
Anyway, yeah, Tony.
The fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, and my situation was different, where it was like, well, I was convinced to go to university, but I decided not to because I heard all the financial trouble of getting a loan and paying off your student debt for the rest of your life, and I'm like, yeah, nah.
Well, it's like let's put it this way.
And also,
Let's put it like this way. We're not going to use Big Les quotes for this, but it's like this. It's like if someone told you that if you go to Japan, all the Japanese girls will throw themselves at you. We all know that's a big stinking
Not
lie,
true.
but
no, but
but some people still believe that.
going about what you said earlier, people tell you what to do and what not to do is because they cannot do it themselves, and so they want to have a sense of superiority over controlling your livelihood.
They can get fucked.
with a reflection of themselves, and that is just stupid. Because you do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You enjoy what you want to do.
Doesn't-
No, nobody should have the right to tell you what the fuck to do, because ultimately people are gonna set you up for failure, and you have to make a decision that will make you happy, and to do something that you'll enjoy.
And plus,
fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And plus, you kind of have to learn to live with it, and plus try to ignore it as much as you can, because you're gonna get a lot of people telling you that you can't be successful. I've had someone told me back in 5th grade saying that I'll never complete 5th grade. Well, guess what? Look where I am now. I'm studying for my bachelor course in game design. So
Yeah,
Me,
there you go.
I heard people, but I didn't listen. I didn't listen to their advice.
yeah, don't.
We should probably start to wrap things up, boys. We're at past an
Yeah.
hour now.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of emotions flying,
More
but we're
to
okay.
talk about next week.
this is a very
Yeah,
interesting
more to
podcast.
come in the next 4 weeks.
I had a lot of fun with this one.
Nah, we'll try
We should,
to.
we should have a chat.
We'll try to be more on time.
Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking once every 2 weeks, and then maybe
Yeah.
we'll increase it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how we're all feeling. We might be able to do a weekly schedule. I mean, it doesn't really take an hour out of
We've
our
been
week.
fucking
It's not a lot of
busy.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Time.
I thought it was because we just couldn't be fucked
That
doing
too.
it.
Nah, I've just been busy. Bit of both.
Especially you,
fatigue.
Seth, and your damn get-rich-quick schemes, which all backfire. Yeah, we're going to do a podcast, we're going to stream this. And I say to you, where the fuck is our 200,000
We will-
viewership?
We'll be doing a stream this weekend.
Where is it?
We'll be doing a Gmod stream this weekend on
Why
Twitch.
do we not have any views?
We're gonna start from the bottom and work to the top.
Now we're
No,
here.
fuck that. I want to be famous instantly. I want to be.
That's
I want
not
people to
how it
run up to me
works.
now and say, "Mr. Freachman, let me
That's
shake
not
your
how
hand."
it works. You have
No.
to build your way up.
Yes,
no,
it
No,
does.
that's not how it works at all.
Taylor Swift became famous in 2 seconds.
Who gives a shit about Taylor Swift? Nobody gives a
I
shit
do.
about Taylor Swift in the year 2020, and you know it.
She came out and said, "Just remember to be yourself."
Dude, she
oh,
was
and
in-
have
she
6
was in
million money.
Cats. Taylor
Oh,
Swift was
who
in
gives a
Cats.
fuck about?
That sounds like a podcast for
Yeah,
another
see,
day.
Yeah.
see
Oh.
exactly.
I gotta talk about when I went to see Cats, eh? Alright,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up.
Not now
Yeah.
though, because we have to wrap it up. We've
Let's
gone
clean
5
it up.
minutes
Mm-hmm.
over time. We're wasting time here. This is all serious now.
Just want to see you all later. eh?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to
Thanks
this
for listening.
wonderful
Yeah.
podcast.
Yep.
And I hope you have a good day and a good
Thank-
night or wherever the fucking time zone
Thank you
live
for-
in, no matter how
Thank you for
backwards it
listening
is.
to us talk
Thanks for
over each
listening.
other for an hour.
All right.
Thanks to everybody
Let's
who
cut.
put up with our bullshit. And also, and remember, you live and learn, and everything in life is worthwhile. Have no regrets.
Cut. Cut.
Oh.